it's Virtual Cat. Today we will be playing with stencils.
We are going to show you how to use Creative Memories templates as stencils here today. We are going to use the Simple Symmetry template, but you can use any template you may have. So I've cut down a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because we're going to make this into a card when we're done. To begin, we're just going to take the template and see what part of the pattern we want to use on our card front, just by eyeballing it. Then we're going to turn the template over and we're going to use some repositionable adhesive all over the areas that are going to stick down to our cardstock. We want to be quite generous with this because this is what is going to keep the template in place when we start painting. So once we're happy with it, go ahead and center your piece of cardstock on your mat. Then take your template, and once you're happy with the positioning, push it all down into place. Then you're going to grab a tool for painting. This can be something as simple as a sponge, or in my case, I've just taken a piece of paper towel, balled it up, and I'm just going to use that to dab my paint onto my template. Now keep in mind, you're going to want to use a water-based paint when doing this, just to ensure that your template is easy to clean off afterward. All you're going to use is just a little bit of dish soap and run it under warm water, and it will all come off very, very easily. All you're going to do is pick up the paint with whichever tool you're using, and then you're just going to dab it onto your paper. You don't want to put too much paint on because it could seep under the edges of your template if you do, but just try to put a little bit of paint on at a time and continuously adding layers, just dabbing it on as you go. To add something extra to your artwork, you could also grab another tool like the Q-tip I've chosen here, as well as another color like the gold I've chosen to put on top of the turquoise, and add some different designs in the different sections of your template. So I've done some simple polka dots in some sections and some lines in other sections. You could also do so many other things. You could do swirls or little shapes. It's entirely up to you. Get as creative as you like. Once you complete all of those sections and it's just the way you like, then it's time to take off the template. So you're going to want to do this while the paint is still wet, and you're going to want to do it nice and slowly as to not rip your paper. You'll also want to take your template straight to the sink and get it washed off right away. Don't let the paint dry on your template. And there you have it. That's going to be the background of your card. Isn't that fun? If it's a sunny day where you are today, we encourage you to try this outside. Take your templates outside, use some chalk, and see what you can make to share with your neighborhood. Now I want to share with you how you can go about making your own stencil if you don't happen to have one of the Creative Memories templates. One way to do it is using the custom cutting system. So you'll need one of the patterns. I'm using the circle one here. You'll also need a blade, your mat, and a piece of cardstock. You'll go ahead and you'll cut your shape out using that blade on your cutting mat. If you don't have the custom cutting system, you could also cut your own shape out of a piece of cardstock as long as it's the center of the cardstock, because what you'll need is the negative space behind your shape. So for example, we're going to be taking this circle and using it for a different project another day, and we're going to be using this negative space here. Next, you're going to use either painter's tape if you have it, or washi tape. It's entirely up to you. Both will work. You're going to want different widths if you have them, just for different added interest on your stencil. All you're going to do is take your tape and pull it across your stencil. You're going to want to make sure you have a good amount of tape on either side so that it sticks nicely to your stencil when you're painting. Go ahead and add as much as you'd like to your stencil, and then you're going to go ahead and take your stencil, flip it over, and pat the back of your tape with the back of your hand. This is going to help remove a little bit of the stickiness of your tape, which will help when you're painting later. You want it to stick down to your finished page, but you don't want it to stick down so much that you have trouble removing it or that it rips your page. So just make sure that it's sticky, but not too sticky. And patting the back with the back of your hand actually helps a lot. Another option for creating a stencil is to do the very same process, but add a shape to the center. So I created a heart on mine, and then all I did is I took the tape and I made it go kind of like a sunburst outside of the heart. You could do any shape in the center. You could do a star, a heart, another circle, whatever your heart desires. So I went ahead and I created this one with my 2-year-old. So I created the stencil for her, and she and I went ahead and created the art together. So first we went ahead and added some repositionable adhesive to the edges of our stencil as well as the heart to ensure that everything stayed down in place while we were painting. And then we just did the exact same process as we did with the template and added paint all over. Once all of your painting is done, just like with the template, you're going to carefully remove your stencil. So it's best if you work around in a circular motion and just pull it up right up to the middle, working your way around. And once it's pulled away, you get to see what you've created. We cannot wait to see how creative you get. This was so much fun for us to do at our house. Lila went ahead and created some stencils just using washi tape and the same process that we showed you, and she was able to spell her name. We can't wait to see your creations. Have fun!